I focus mostly on casting, which is totally fine. Okay, so we can look at the maps. Hyper random, beautiful. Aftermath, Sunburn, Accurate. No Accurate, interesting. No Immersions. No Water map. I mean, there's Shoals. Runestones, Hyper Random. Oh, I need to, casting's fun. Great players, yeah. Casting isn't very fun if you don't have great players, that's for sure. Let me do cast POV live. Casting. That's Pl0tterGh0st versus MTExplore. Alright, so we have that. Enjoy mocking the low elo players like Otter. I mean, I'm not much of one to talk. I'm a low elo player myself. Okay. But yes, it is. I will not avoid dunking on Otter. That sounds like a great time. Otters can stop a river. Isn't that beavers? So Hyper Random and Outcrop seems like there's not really, I don't know if that's water up there. No, that's just a starting spot. So Outcrop seems kind of like Gold Pit, but on cut and flipped around like in half, I guess. Dunking everyone mixing otters up with beavers. Shoals, and then Serengeti is normal. So Serengeti, just the sparser Arabia. But okay, so let me actually do one thing. So, okay, so here we go. So we can do the picks and bans, which I'll just kind of let play. Whew. I'm not too familiar with the, is this step forward? Yes, okay. So some bans, we can just take a look. So a lot of the different bans from the previous one. Like, there's no Sicilians, there's no Celts, there's no Slavs. Teutons, I don't know what the way are. Got Mongols, so I mean, these seem like a lot of kind of the old school, maybe not Way or Bulgarians, but some of the older school, like, really good. Bohemians have the gunpowder, if I remember correctly. So definitely interested to see those. I'm not gonna be able to provide the best amount of analysis, but so now we're gonna do. So we got Huns, Cumans, Byzantines, there's Sicilians, Hindustanis, Spanish, Lithuanians, and Khmer. So I'm guessing some of those are some of the other top tier team civs. Lithuanians I remember being pretty strong. Sicilians sound like they're really good. Spanish always strong. Khmer probably pretty good, but all right. So we get the 2 blind picks. Probably Chinese. Cloud forgot he wasn't playing RM with these bands. Are these all RM teams or RM civs? So Chinese versus Chinese mirror, and then Persians and Saracens. So no Celts. No Slavs. Oh, no, Slavs are not banned. So, kind of different meta, it looks like. So, we're going to start seeing the different picks. Magyars. Ethiopians, we just saw. Slavs, there they are. Seems, from what I understand, a pretty late pick for the Slavs. And there's Celts. So, some 2 really good civs. Georgians sound like they're probably good. Tatars. Cav archers are always pretty solid. Lucky to say you don't play. You have a lot of knowledge. Lucky. Oh, you're talking Lucky. Yeah, because there's a guy named Lucky in chat. Dravidians, Japanese, Burgundians, and Franks. So luckily no new civs, so I don't have to worry too much about that. Georgians, I think, were released when I stopped playing, so I did play a little bit with them. Also a caster that doesn't play DM. Gotcha. All knowledge, no skill. Hey. One and the same. So, if we look at the maps, like, Hyper Random, who knows, we're just gonna ignore that. But land, so 3 lands, only 1 water map. So, like, if they're gonna be doing a water civ, like, Chinese, could just be a Chinese mirror on that. Because I know those, Otter was saying the Chinese were very strong for water maps, which makes sense. And then Yeah, I mean, maybe there's another Civ that's... Dravidians are pretty good on water, if I remember correctly, too. Casting a different skill set. Being good at the game helps, but it is all a must. Yeah. Okay, so now we get... Oh, right, Snipes. So, Snipes and reveal. Saracens and Chinese. Snipe the Chinese. So, Pl0tterGh0st... Now, I do need some help here. I mean, I suppose Japanese had a decent navy. But is there any other good water map for Pl0tterGh0st? Or is Pl0tterGh0st a little bit gonna struggle on the water map? MT losing Saracens, so no early market rush. Dravidians are good everywhere. They used to be trash, I remember. You like Pl0tterGh0st draft more? Okay. So they probably have some... Because, I mean, at the same time, though, even if he is weak on the water map, he has 4 land maps, right? Or whatever hyper random is. So... I mean, I'm assuming Chinese, as always, Chinese have always been top tier at every instance of the game. So I assume nothing's changed there. But, cool. Give me 30 seconds to go fill up on water and pop another cough drop before I start. And then, no cough drops in there. And then we'll get underway, just because I want to make sure my throat is not charred and broken. Everyone else should hydrate as well. So I'll be right back. New Chinese seed ship, the Lu Chuan. Interesting. Alright, so I will be right back. Give me like 2 minutes. I'm back. Sorry for the delay. Store a little bit. Alright. China's kind of pure water civ, new Chinese seed ship, blah blah. Always surprised by how popular Ethiopians are in the lower divs. I think people would want to avoid all that micro. But I feel like the trade-off there is that if you can dedicate a bit more time to micro, you probably get a lot more off it. Like, a few really good micro shots could probably turn the tide of the battle more than it would at the top level, right? So it's because like your opponent's not going to be microing quite as much, so it definitely can help on that side of things where it's just it's you don't like one big engagement probably carries a lot more weight in the lower divisions than at the higher divisions where it's easier to recover. So both guys are 1600 RM. That's good to know. So they should have some micro. And yeah, all right. Let's get underway with the first match. Pl0tterGh0st versus MTExplore. Going to scroll all the way down. Start watching. And it's going to be Persians versus Slavs. All right. All right, in the purple. Well, first off, welcome to... Oh, hold on. Settings. Casting. Division 9. Turn the map. Cool. All right, welcome to... Oh, hold on, let me change my thing. Classic failure. All right, Tarnished Deathmatch. Division 9, we have in the purple, playing the best color, MTExplore. And he playing the Slavs against Persians, being played by Pl0tterGh0st in the yellow. Oh, I have the wrong thing up. There we go. Overlay. I used to have an overlay command for every time, and it got very high. But we see a defensive castle, not super chickeny, but is going to be delayed by that one scout getting some work done. In the meantime, nothing too much being rushed on the top side, but a little bit slower start compared to the higher elo games. Persians would be for shoals. Yeah, so on Serengeti, we got the Persians going for the Savar. Oh, right, that's their version of the Paladins. They're slightly different. I forget what the differences are. But you see 2 castles coming up for the Persians, so getting some war elephants, if I remember correctly. And those Savar and a Hussar are going to try to go in forward and try to get some raids, but going to be met with some Halberdiers by MTExplore. Anti-Archer Paladins. Gotcha. And it looks like we're going Cavalier from MTExplore from the Slavs. Seems like an interesting choice when... I mean, I suppose, yeah, Persians do get the crossbow archers, or the wood-only or the non-gold crossbows. So that's a pretty useful trash unit. But in the south, just have some Cavalier going in and getting eaten by the Savar. They're better than Paladins? Yeah. Just got ping. Hopefully the ping isn't important. Just double check. Okay, so actually, I am gonna change one thing. Sorry, this is bothering me. I keep wanting to say arm. All right, there we go. So the raid's gonna get cleaned up pretty well. Couple KDs, eco kills for each side, but for the most part, doesn't get the other one there. But 2-2. Pretty nice. And now we hear some gunpowder coming out. Or is that just... No. Oh, the castles fire gunpowder. Or bullets. It's you look after. Gotcha. Thank you, Otter. I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing something important. But yeah, massive halbs in the middle. And the Savar are just gonna try to find some raids. Might be able to pick off a few of these halbs being pushed forward. A little distraction in the front as a flank comes in. Pl0tterGh0st could get a few kills here. And now, yeah, MT notices. And unfortunately, those Savar aren't going to do any damage because Pl0tterGh0st's attention is elsewhere. Probably focusing on this. Going to get some maybe attacks up there. But yeah, it's going to be... Looks like Pl0tterGh0st trying to be the aggressor here. Trying to get some damage. Good quick walls. Suppose that's kind of a... skill that's taken for granted nowadays, but all those Savar get taken just down by those Halberdiers. Not a good trade for Pl0tterGh0st. Loses some pretty gold units for free. One survives, but that's just a trade that does not need to be made. Meantime, looks like the raid up top got cleaned up as well, and now the Cavalier coming down for MT. And some good outposts maintaining that map control. Keep an eye as this TC in the back corner. That's exactly where the Cavalier are going. MT... Oh, maybe not. This castle in the back is going to be nice to defend. The Halberdier pushing forward, but nothing really to support the push. Granted. Okay, now the siege is coming out for Pl0tterGh0st. And that could be very bad. How's the micro? Alright, I mean, that's a lot of halbs. Savar need to get in there and not kill their own units. Some shots landing, taking some HP off those. If the castle was up, it'd be a lot better of a fight for Pl0tterGh0st. but does chase all those halbs away, and MT's going to turn and try to engage here. I mean, trade some trash units for these gold units when you don't have any other supports. Not the worst idea. Does lose a lot of them, but does cost a few gold units. Meantime, the siege being built up by both players, and it's going to be a pretty intensive fight in the middle. We can take a quick look over at the right side. These Cavalier not really doing much, even though they have the ability to. So we'll keep an eye on that. TC in the middle does go down. And Raids takes out some siege. These Halberdiers cleaning the Savar up in the middle. And it's interesting that the Savar are continuing to be used instead of maybe some Hussars or something like that, because they're just being fed to these Halberdiers and not really being used to take out those siege. So elephantless Persians, you're right, yeah, no elephants. Which, I mean, granted, with mass halb, maybe that's not what needs to happen. And oh, that's a big boom. That is a lot of siege onagers dead. Like we were saying, the micro it needs to be there when you're using onagers like this. And losing all of those siege onagers is very expensive, very lost. But I mean, these halbs have been cleaned up by the scorpions, but the scorpions just get flattened by a single SO. So it's a little bit of a micro required game that both players are struggling a little bit to maximize. But now the Savar gold units starting to come in with no halberdiers being reinforced, so pumping out a bunch more halberdiers to try to help stem the flow. But losing all those halberdiers really means that those Savars actually can find some purchase. But now we see the raid, the Cavalier being pulled over by those villagers and stopping a castle, getting a few kills there, very nice. Needs to do more with these, or maybe they're just going to prevent the expansion for now, which is fine. But yeah, Pl0tterGh0st pushing in the middle. A lot of Trebs coming up, going to take out this castle on the hill, but that's a lot of siege onagers rolling forward. And not a lot of halberdiers to defend against this, and there's a bunch of scorpions, but a couple siege onager shots are going to just melt these scorpions. And it's just everything going away. There's no Savar here to take out those. Okay, now they're here, but that's such a big loss. All the Trebs, half the scorpions, even more scorpions. The Savar were out of position and needed to be there earlier. There's going to be a trade. Bomber cannons are firing away, maybe taking some villagers. And, I mean, Pl0tterGh0st lost a lot there, but still does have some siege pushing forward. Those onagers continue to roll forward. And we got a raid in the bottom, the Cavalier. Pl0tterGh0st beat MTE 4-1 last season. Both went down from Div 8 to Div 9, so it's a little bit of a grudge match. Awesome. Love to hear it. Now the Hussar being mixed in to try to snipe some of the siege. And those Trebs taking out this castle. Villagers coming forward to repair it. And the raid's still going on at the bottom. I mean, the Halbs are going to come clean this up, but a lot of damage is done. You can see 22 kills. No, that's Pl0tterGh0st got 22 kills. But some attention being drawn from there, and now the Halberdiers are starting to mass up. And assuming the micro from the siege onagers are good, they're going to be able to take out these scorpions. Savar trying to come through and maybe mess up the micro and get some self-inflicted damage. But now, yeah, MT able to push forward, save the castle on the hill, very important. And takes out all the rest of the scorpions. Huge. If MT remembers to keep Halbs in queue, you like his position? Yes. Yeah, I think Halbs are really the key thing. Pl0tterGh0st hasn't shown the best ability to deal with the Halbs. He keeps sending Savars for it. I think Savars isn't the play right now. I mean, sure, they're going to melt the SOs now. But I mean, like, you just throw some more Hussars, get some food eco going. There's no food eco, speaking of. Let's look at the ecos. Starting to get some ecos going. Some stone. There's all the farms. Beautiful. That's what we like to see. One Persian longsword. Helped deal with that raid in the south. So, outposts on the sides, helping to keep an eye. Will notify MT of this TC. Especially now that you're attacking it. And we see MT even going on the left side, trying to expand their eco as well. Check the ecos. Still no food eco for the Slavs. But there's the Slav farms. I forget what the Slav farm bonus is, but the Slav farms are very good, if I remember correctly. And both sides kind of just chilling. Oh, these SOs could get caught out. Good attack round. Takes them all out. It's a lot of SOs from the Slavs being in the middle. And these Savars are going to find at least like maybe some economy, but they're going to be not really getting much. But here's the raid on the right side. Kills the villagers. The Boyars should be able to clean up these Halberdiers and stop this expansion. So the fight's going to maintain staying in the middle. Got a ram push. That's going to be cleaned up pretty quickly. But yeah, it's a lot of siege coming from the Persians player. MT loves outposts, underrated things. Oh, even 3 years ago, honestly, with how much the game's come forward, I think outposts continue to be an incredibly underutilized thing. I remember there was a clip of Hera out, like, he was beating somebody and he just started dropping about a bunch of outposts, and people got upset, and Hera was like, no, here's the defense. Like, outpost spam is actually a viable strategy and, like, helps really ensure pushes work well, because of the vision, the redirecting attacks, like, so outposts, glad to see them. They definitely are underused. But, oh, these Scorpions just melted. The Halberdiers just being held in reserve. No Hussars, or here come the Savars, but like the Halberdiers coming forward, and oof. MT's gonna start pushing forward, and there's the Trebs. Oh no, the Trebs gonna get taken out by this one lonely Onager. And yeah, having Onager versus SO is not really where you want to be. There you go. So, does take out one Treb. So this push, and this, oh, the Halberdiers are out of position. Good attack rounds. What an attack round. Still is gonna lose a lot of them. Halberdiers getting in the way. Loses some bad micro and loses 2 of your own Trebs, the SOs. But the Treb's gonna start firing. And I mean, the castle in the middle, very good. Established the foothold in the middle. And we actually have some expansions on the left side. And yeah, no expansion on the right side for Pl0tterGh0st. So MT looking like he's kind of taking this home. Has some economy building up. I mean, Pl0tterGh0st economy, much better though. That's a lot of wood economy for the Slavs. So I'm assuming, nope, needs more farms. Really, the Halb spam needs to continue. We've seen how good those Halbs are, especially now that the Hussars are spamming. And I looked away for a minute, and that push is completely evaporated under the castle with the Scorpions and the Hussars. And now Pl0tterGh0st has time to kind of continue to push his economy advantage. MT has the villagers, needs to get them onto a better spread. And, I mean, it's going to continue to be Onagers being pushed forward. We'll see how this ends. I mean, the Svar, good attack rounds, yeah. Might lose one, nah. So, good attack rounds. And we do have an expansion on the right side. And those villagers are very far forward, I feel like. There's plenty more woodlines you could be going. A little bit of a raid in the back. Took out a house with some Savars. I mean, not the most efficient use of them, but it's something. The fight is kind of focused entirely on the middle, as it tends to be. All the advice Pl0tterGh0st. I mean, hey, if there's one thing I've always been decent at, it's knowing useless information and retaining that. Okay, not a lot of Halberdiers die from that, and I take back my words immediately. And a Treb just came out and got nuked. Yeah, so, once again, there's no Halberdiers for MT. This is what we were talking about. We need the Halberdier spam to continue for the Slavs. Like, it's just, oh, if there were Halberdiers, this would be so easy to push into. But that castle needs to be maintained. There's 4 Trebs to 2. Repairs coming out for MT. Some repairs as well for Pl0tterGh0st. But really nothing else. I mean, trying to establish a foothold on this hill, which would be a very nice position. But that one Treb is going to probably stop it. Is that even being built yet? Hopefully not. It is. It could be sniped. Please. Snipe it. Nah. Oh. Nah. Needs a bit more. But, oh. All the units, all the siege taken down here as the castle goes down for Pl0tterGh0st, or for MT. Pl0tterGh0st pushing back in the middle really well. These Trebs continuing to win the Treb war, and with the Hussar spam there. It, again, comes down to just now we're going to see 33 Halberdiers. Hey, what's up, Chef? Glad to see you here. But with, yeah, like we said, it's all about the Halberdiers. Without no Halberdiers on the field, it gave Pl0tterGh0st plenty of time to, like, mount a comeback, mount an attack, and take down those siege. Castle does go down, so these boyars are going to come and find some villagers. And trying to build a castle here, a little late on that castle. You needed that a bit earlier, but these villagers are all going to die. And that's some eco that is lost. Granted, you got all the gold out of that, I assume. So that's good, but this kind of expansion is being taken out by MT. So even though that good fight in the middle happened, MT's still kind of maintaining map control, keeping Pl0tterGh0st from expanding too much. And now that the Halb numbers are starting to rise again, I mean, they're only up to 26. We need to get more Halberdiers. Trying to expand on the right side, but a Treb just short range taking out this castle. Well, it's taking out the TC. is this... Okay, the Halberdier is going to come put a stop to that. Minimum range, yeah, right? There it is. Take some damage. We do have a castle with here with Treb taking this out, but all the action's kind of happening, and now we get the Boyar raids. Very deadly. Gunpowder going to miss quite a bit and be like slightly out of the range. All these farms pretty decently unprotected. The ones over here a little more protected, but and Savar's over here trying to stop this expansion and run right past Treb, kill some villagers instead. But this expansion doesn't look like it's gonna do much for Pl0tter, but the fight continues on in the middle. That's a lot of Trebs. A little bit of it. Oh, and here's the Halberdiers. Yeah, so long as the Halberdiers spam keeps up, as we said, Slavs should do pretty well here. But it's going to lose the Trebs to the other Trebs, and the Halberdiers going under the double castle fire and just going to get melted. Boyars haven't cleaned up that expansion, and needs to do a little bit better rated. But here comes the Hussars? No, so Pl0tter doing a pretty good defense over here. Is losing this fight over here, no Trebs. Trying to keep it up. I don't know if it's worth keeping up this castle. Because you don't really have anything to reinforce it. You're just going to be taken down by these 3 Trebs. That's just a waste of stone at that point. But yeah, this gives MT another point to push forward on. And I mean, it looks like Pl0tter's getting a little bit cramped. Maybe running out of resources. This gold really needs to be taken by him. And he's trying to. But with the Treb here and maybe some units coming through, it's going to get pushed pretty easily. It's undefended. Oh, wow, that res bank, yeah. I was talking about MT needing a better resource or economy, and he's gotten it. It is looking very good. Some good raids, but I mean, again, Halberdiers, and now we see 10 more Halberdiers in the queue. Please make some more. You have so, I mean, he needs more wood, sure, but that's a good res bank. Don't try to fight the castle with siege onagers. Doesn't work. And the outpost spam continues, and this is actually going to show MT that there's still some stuff over here, which is going to be nice. But these Trebs just kind of freewheeling, pushing on the side, taking out some production buildings. MT definitely going to get some advantage here. And now we see the Halbs from Pl0tter coming in just as another meat shield. Because the Scorpions are being a bit expensive, and they're not being microed, and these Halberdiers are going to come in and just take out a bunch of those with the Slav splash damage from the Halberdiers. Those Scorpions really go down. Yeah, the bank is nice, but you could turn that into units, at least in the queue, right? Especially more Halberdiers. Bunch of Boyars. There's one monk. Getting the relics, which is a great play. We'll find out how many up front, so we gotta love that. Only 1 relic so far. But at least he's making a play towards the relic since the game is going longer. Though MT's starting to push forward. But I mean, honestly, this at least Zhao's monastery was behind a few castles. I'll give Zhao that. I know Otter was dunking on Zhao a little bit, but, you know, at the time, that monastery was somewhat secure. This one, on the other hand, is just asking to be counterattacked. But, I mean, yeah, MT's starting to push forward. He's taking out that first castle. Second castle is going to fall. Nothing too much on the economy down here. And now push on the right side with those Trebs and the Boyars, and this is looking really bad for Pl0tter. Pl0tter's down to 5 military. 5 military. You need to mass up somewhere, but just cannot get the rally points set. And those Scorpions going forward and just straight to their deaths. And Pl0tter has to call the GG. Alright, well done from MT. Get a little bit of water in me. It's a lot easier co-casting when I'm not talking continuously. But yeah, this was, I think, a pretty even game. MT kind of was in the advantage the entire time. Denying this expansion over here and making this raid over here, and then just kind of holding the middle, and really that's all it took. Again, I think if MT had had more Halb spam, I think it would have been a much easier win than he did have. But he had enough Halbs when it counted that he was able to win through that. And yeah, the economy, once again, showing how important the economy can be. We can take a look at the statistics a little bit. Not going to be the most interesting ones, but military, relatively balanced. I mean, yeah, just pretty much throughout the whole thing, after that big skirmish in the middle, MT just maintained a massive military lead. Economy lead, MT took a while to get going, but after a while, those Slav farms really started to kick in. You can see almost caught up in food, and he was at zero, like very low food for a while. Savar play versus Slavs, that's fair. I think my main problem with Savar play is just at a certain point when it was just like a nonstop halbs in the middle. I think like switching to Hussars and just not losing the gold units in those fights might have been more useful. Like use the Savars for maybe some more flanking, maybe some more raids or something, but it's just it felt like he was just running those Savars into those halberdiers over and over again. But Pl0tterGh0st did have a really good economy, so that's why it was very hard to put him away. So, but yeah, very good first game. Pretty balanced. We cast Div 5 there. You're more critical. Yeah, exactly. So it's and the class thing is it's easy to say what to do correctly when we're not the ones playing. So, all right. So let's get to the. Oh, I suppose I messed up and Oh, this won't show us anyways. Okay, so we'll just well we can look. So we can do we can play a guessing game with chat. It was Persians and Slavs. Okay, so let's see if we can, without spoiling anything. I think I may have just spoiled it. I don't have a good intermission, like I have an intermission screen here. Let me do this. All right, so the map is going to be hyper random. So I looked in, it's easier in the in-game thing. Oh, that's true. It's not look at citizen looks at the map. Yeah, these are the wrinkles and tricks that I have to relearn. Even back in the day, I was bad at using Capture Age. I never really devoted time to learning how to use Capture Age properly. So it's hyper random. So really anything goes, right? Like if we look at the maps, we did our Serengeti. So with hyper random, do you want a hybrid civ? Do you want a like Chinese are always pretty solid. You can save the Dravidians for the water map. Franks. Japanese versus Dravidians is what you're calling? Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. Like Brislin was saying, Dravidians are pretty good everywhere. Japanese, if I remember correctly, were pretty solid tech tree everywhere as well. So Shoal should be China. Makes sense. And then I assume. Did you say that? I think you did. Something about Dravidians. Someone said something about the Dravidians being good everywhere. Maybe it wasn't Brislin. No, it was Lucky who said it. Lucky said Dravidians are good everywhere. Is Lucky a Dravidians fanboy? Alright. Alright, yeah. So I guess the guess is gonna be Japanese versus Dravidians on hyper random. So oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So if we go here, leave map, return to replays. Have we gone out of order? We may have gone out of order. I'm just going to do it through Capture Age to make sure we do it in order. Do you like being associated with expert casting advice, though? All right, so the matchup is going to be Celts versus Franks in hyper random. So we weren't right. But all right, let's get underway. In the purple, once again, MT, having taken the first game, is going to be playing the Franks. And in the yellow is going to be Pl0tterGh0st playing the Celts. We'll do some pretty quick, like looking at probably just infantry battles, right? Like both of them going infantry with siege. Chicken Castle coming out from MT. And yeah, it's going to be a hybrid gen. Like, the water on the outside could be pretty helpful. A little bit of some resources on the sides. Going to be very... That is a nice resource patch over here. Plenty of resources in the middle. And it's going to... They got plumes. They have plumed archers. My boys, the Mayans. Let's go. That's a wild start. I forgot that you can start with a random unit as well. And you got a yurt. So, both teams are kind of building up. Looks like the Celts are going to go for some early Halberdier spam as the Paladins come out for the Franks. So, Pally is definitely going to be difficult to do with, especially the Celts have faster microing plumes in DM start. Hey, I just want to say, whoever's decision was to put in hyper random, I fully support it and love it. Yeah, hacks. Looks like a little bit of complaints, but yeah, these Halbs gonna do a lot of good work against these Paladins. Do a lot of damage here. Paladin's gonna try to come forward, but that's an expensive loss, and the castle already up is gonna even protect Pl0tterGh0st even more. And now the siege workshops come up. And yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a question of, does MT try to swap over to Throwing Axemen, which doesn't have any queued up yet. Has a villager queued in the castle. Hasn't updated his rally points. That's unfortunate. That's a lot of important early eco. Trying to win these fights, but I mean, spamming Paladins against Halberdiers is not where you want to be. At least send them around and try to snipe some fills. Did do that with one. And did get 2 eco kills. So, you know, balances out the castle vills. But, I mean, the Onagers out for the Celts. Remember, if there's one, I don't know how it is anymore, but Celt does eat TC. Because Celts, Onagers are great. And, I mean, Paladin's going to try to snipe it, doesn't. And going to continue to send... This might just be a Paladin all in. I mean, he's making TCs behind it, so not really, but... No Axemen, no infantry, making a monastery, continuing to build more and more stables. This looks like an all-in with some villagers on gold. So, wait, it does ungarrison that castle. So I don't really know how I feel. Maybe MT just looks at this and is like, I don't feel confident in this matchup, and winning much other than that. What is this thing? Okay. We missed this, but I don't know what this Artemisia does. Is it a hero unit? Alright. Well, there's no dock. Hold on. Did they... No, there is. Is there no dock? Wait. I'm so confused. Must be... hyper random things? Yeah, where was Yellow's then? Did Yellow not have a lady in a ship? Yellow does have some docks up, so Pl0tterGh0st has some docks, but the fight continues in the middle. Paladin's trying to overwhelm the Halbs by sheer numbers and gold value. Which, I mean, I think this might work out for MT purely because I think Pl0tterGh0st overcompensated and assumed that MT would switch to Axemen. So all of these Scorpions are just ripe for the taking. There's not a lot of Halberdiers. There's only 23 on the field. Has 16 to queue, so they're all going to be coming up pretty quickly. That's a lot of damage. But I mean, that's a lot of Paladins lost, so... There is a market, so we are going to have an all-in kind of market play. And yeah, still no switch off of Paladin. It's just been non-stop Paladin spam. No way Franks win this? Yeah. I mean, there's a brief moment if MT had some siege behind it. There was a chance. But a full-on Pally spam against Celts. I think, and also I think Pl0tterGh0st aware of this now. 55 Halbs in the queue. Making, hopefully, some more barracks, but yeah. Does Yellow have conscription? Maybe. MT takes good fights? Yeah. So, like, there's still a window here, but I think the Pally spam has to stop. MT's out of gold, right? These are the last Paladins and Trebs you're going to have for a long time. He's starting to get a bunch of villagers on gold and stone, so maybe trying to transition into more of a late game. The Trebs are going to maybe take out this castle, but counter Trebs here. Celts out of wood, wasting it on fires. That is, yeah, a couple fires. Wait, how many fires? 21 fires? Why? Like, some of them I get it, but, like, maybe he saw that one hero ship and just assumed that it was a bigger deal. That's a lot of fires to spend a lot of wood on. That's insane. I mean, at the same time. Okay. Light cav spam. I don't know what MTE is trying to accomplish with Lycav against Kelt Halbs. Like, sure, you're gonna be able to snipe some Onagers, but those Halbs could just go forward and take out everything. Those fires looking very menacing. Takes out some of the siege, so, you know. But yeah, now the Halb spam. 80 Halbs on the field. Over 100 military difference. MT has 1 monk. Not making 7 more paladins, but not a single throwing axeman has been made. If there were cannon galleons, I mean, yeah, but at the same time, like, I don't think cannon galleons would be able to do much. Actually, no, cannon galleons would be great. I was thinking from Purple's perspective. Yeah, so I don't think there's really much of a chance for MT to pull this one back. I think MT may have just kind of thrown it all in the all-in, and it didn't pay off. I don't know if that all-in was really worth it against Celts, but for a brief second there, he caught Pl0tter unaware with all those Scorpions, haven't expected the throwing axeman to switch. And those Paladins could have done something, but there's no siege to back it up. And with all these wasted fire galleys, yeah, that's all 21 fire ships. It's a lot of resources put into fire ships that, I mean, Pl0tter probably could have won this a little bit better. But here comes the last charge of the Frank Paladins. But there's enough Halberdiers here to make this trade favorable. Even if you take out some of the trebuchets, Pl0tter still has so many resources left. Does take out a few more trebs. And these Halberdiers need to be a little bit better. And these fire ships now showing their worth. Taking out a few villagers. Maybe. But yeah, the Halberdiers continue to harass villagers. Paladins continue to stream forward. And only down to... Okay, now a bunch more Halberdiers queued up for Pl0tter. Yeah, the Paladin all-in... Like, I think even if he had mixed in a few throwing axemen, it would have been good. Like, I can understand the Paladin all-in, but, like... I don't know. Against Halberdier spam, it just feels like this isn't gonna happen. Paladin's definitely getting some snipes here, but I'm not gonna call it too early, but it's... Especially with these more and more trebs coming forward. Yeah, there's a GG. So, I mean, I don't really think there's too much to analyze there. It's very much a... It was a good try from MT. Clearly, he didn't like the matchup and thought going long against the Celts wasn't the play. And decided that all-in Paladin play was his best chance, and it didn't work out. I appreciate Pl0tter winning and ruining your name. Still stands, yeah. But still, yeah, I mean, I get the idea. I don't know why the idea would be chosen. Like, I don't know why the all-in is necessary. But he mostly committed to it, and it almost worked. Just the Halberdier's too strong. So that evens us up 1-1. All right, so let me pull up the other details. Give me 1 second. All right, so we just had Celts and no, Persians lost, right? Yeah, and then Slavs won. Franks lost. So the next map is going to be Runestones. So Runestones seems kind of Arabia-esque, right? That's what I was saying before. It's kind of like the DM version of Arabia, a little bit more balanced in that sense. But I mean, open land map, Burgundians versus Ethiopians, maybe the Tatars. What are we feeling, chat? How are we feeling on Runestones? Georgians here? That's fair. Let me do this real quick, actually. Do Georgians. Mountain units, take less. Fortifications, watchtower, no watchtowers allowed. Manaspa. Mountain units regenerate. Units and buildings receive less damage when on higher ground. Mule carts. Fortified churches. Right, they're the churches, guys. Buildings cost less to repair. They have champion. Siege ram. Do they have SO? They have SO. And yeah, Manaspa. What is the Manaspa again? Stronger. Oh, right, the group strong. Strong versus infantry and cavalry. Weak versus spearmen and monks. Cool. Okay. Don't know what MT does. I mean, Ethiopians and Tatars feel like just solid land maps or land civs, right? So, yeah. All right. Let me we'll see how we go, and I'm just going to go here. And okay, so it's Ethiopians versus Georgians. So yeah, Georgians was right, and I guess I got Ethiopians correct. So yeah, it's 1-1 all, and let's start game 3. And in the pink, we have MT playing the Ethiopians, going for some early barracks for some probably some defensive halbs, whereas in the yellow, Pl0tterGh0st is playing the Georgians. Early mule cart, gotta make sure not to get sniped. Hussars coming in, and archers first. So no real defenses against any sort of rush, but I don't think he's expecting it. So heavy cav archers. And that scout's gonna get taken out. Scout gets taken out up there. Does get a kill, so Pl0tterGh0st does manage to snag 1 kill. And oh, those spears in the TC for some reason. But defensive castle, and there's the mule cart still wandering around. But heavy cav archer is going to be the play for the Georgians, whereas Ethiopians go halves. And we'll see what else. Maybe Shotels. Probably throw some siege up shortly. Yeah, these heavy cav archers are going to pose a problem to the early halberdiers from MT. And we actually already see some economy coming out from Pl0tterGh0st right away. Getting those TCs up. Some defensive castles. And just kind of content to probably sit back and try to do a little bit of a later game. Or at least go to the mid game. Build his economy early. And good spear micro. Oh, look at them dancing. All that APM wasted. So siege units are a little bit late to come out. So these halberdiers are likely to get chewed up here. But once those siege archers come out, it should be a little bit easier for MT to defend against this. But with some good micro here, it's going to be decent. And as long as he doesn't lose too many to these halberdiers, he'll be fine. Picking them off is pretty good. But that siege archer is looking scary, and yeah, it's going to have Pl0tterGh0st fall back a little bit. Full CA. Looks like it is full CA. Nothing coming out of the castle. It's just non-stop CA spam. Which, I mean, we saw earlier with Yomi. Is like, you get some really good cav archer micro. Like, sure, it's not kip checks, but non-stop, some heavy cav archer micro can really do some damage. They're gonna run in and find a few villager kills here. Oh, good retreat. No notice. Doesn't get anything. Oh, and just loses a few heavy cav archers. What a great response from MT, not getting sniped there. But those halberdiers are moving forward and going to find these cav archers on the bottom side and have to fall back due to the double castle pressure. You even see like a pseudo house wall coming up. I think Pl0tterGh0st really does want to just kind of sit back and take us to the middle game. Those siege archers are going to come forward and kind of push the issue. And I mean, I don't know what the answer from Pl0tterGh0st is going to be with the siege archers. Like, sure, you can take away these halberdiers and try to out-micro, but that's a lot of siege archers. Torsion engines is pretty nice. And, yeah, they're just going to continue to harass on this side. Attack the foundations. Maybe get a kill or two, but Angers are coming over, and this doesn't look great. Oh, and there's the 2 step lancers taking out all the Angers, or the Manaspa. And a few Scorpions just to try to deal with some of the Halberdier, but cleans that push up, and that's a lot of units to lose. And those Cav Archers, that's a big ball of Cav Archers going all the way around. I mean, look at the population count. Pl0tter really... Oh, gonna lose... Take a big shot. But yeah, Pl0tter really maxing out his economy, maxing out his military. Double in both of them. Pretty much straight up double. That's very impressive. And like, that's a very scary ball of heavy Cav Archers to deal with. And a very slow-moving army from MT. So like, if he lands some shots... He could be really good, but he's missing his shots. There's the attack round he needs. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, God. Oh, God. That's all the heavy Cav Archers dead. Bada boom, as MT says. Yes. Oof. A little bit of trash talk. But the front side isn't going great. Either the Halberdiers masked up, and Pl0tter not feeling great, losing a lot, and now he's switching over to Manaspa. But without the heavy Cav Archers deal with those Halberdiers, that's going to be very hard for those Manaspa to do anything. He's down to... He's queuing up all 31 Cav Archers. That's going to take a while to get going, and I don't know if he's going to have the time to survive. Yeah, losing 80 Cav Archers in like 20 seconds is real bad. Siege-Archer's going to take out all of these trebuchets. That's really helpful. Takes out the castle as well. Torsion Engine's showing its work. Loses his forward position, and those Cav Archers going forward to their deaths. You cannot afford to lose your Cav Archers when you're this low on them. Starting to mass up a bit in the back with some Scorpions, but you need those. You need some Manaspa or something to deal with these SOs. It's good attack grounds, and I mean, there's no more pressure on the top side from Pl0tter. MT is kind of expanding on the top side, getting the stone. Maybe he'll go for some relics. And yeah, he's going to do that. And it looks like MT's in a very, very comfortable position now that that death ball of Cav Archers isn't rotating around his base, threatening him constantly. So Pl0tter going to struggle to try to push forward. And not having a very good angle of attack. And I mean, able to lure away a few of the Halberdiers, but like, get this castle up, and I don't know if Pl0tter can come back from that. Onagers are a bit out of position, going to take out these Cav Archers, but that allows these Manaspas to try to come in here, but there's enough Halberdiers here to stop this. Going to lose a few villagers, but that castle should go up, and the Trebs being protected. Bombard cannons being added to the mix. Onagers getting some good shots. Pl0tter's not out of this yet, but 13 military, 29. Pl0tter does have double the eco. Pl0tter does have double the eco. We could be seeing an issue where Pl0tter can maintain an army while MT might struggle, but I mean, MT has so much in the bank. Needs some more wood to continue the Halberdier spam. But with some bombard cannons and siege onagers pushing forward, this is not looking good for Pl0tter, even with the economic lead he has. 3 military. Missing gold. That's his key thing, is everyone on gold. Where is all this gold coming from? Probably all the way in the back. Yeah, a lot of people overpopulated on these gold. Trying to mass some units, but throwing them all away one by one. And you just cannot afford... You just cannot afford to lose your few gold units you have. You need to mass them up. He's trying to, but it is just non-stop spam from MT, and Bombard Cannon's going to take out this castle. The Heavy Cav Archers trying to do their best to micro, but you cannot micro that many Siege Onagers. Does take out the Treb. Some Bombard Cannons can move back a little bit. That castle will stay up, just barely. But, I mean, it's just delaying the inevitable. MT is starting to expand his eco a little bit, up to 80 villagers, catching up in eco, but like, how effective is Pl0tter's eco right now? I mean, does have a nice small little ball of Cav Archers here. Can get a few snipes here and there, maybe pick away the Halberdiers, but against the siege, there's nothing quite needed. There's a couple Cavaliers, some Hussars. Needs some... Oh, he's losing his Cav Archers. He ran right through. He needed to time it with the Hussars. He needed to swing his Hussars in, and he waited a little bit too long. Oh my gosh! He's lost all of his Halberdiers. This is your chance. Go forward. Go forward. There's no Halberdiers protecting these guys. Please. The Hussars. They're just ripe for the taking. Pl0tter. No. Self-kill, yeah, it had to have been. That is a danger of SOs. I would rewind it if I had pro, but I forgot. And now the Hussars coming in, going to take out all the siege. I mean, luckily for MT, he got a lot of damage out of that when he could have... Pl0tter could have wiped that out very early right away. And now Pl0tter's on the lead. No way. Pl0tter has military advantage, economical advantage. I mean, economy is not the greatest or balanced, but he has a bunch of resources. MT has more resources, but these Hussars are going to start going in for raids, and MTE losing a very dominating position by losing all of his halberdiers. Luckily, he still has a chance in this game because Pl0tter didn't, like, could have wiped everything out 10 seconds earlier and saved a castle, saved half of those buildings up front. Oh, and now MT is panicking a little bit, I'm sure. Is getting some relics, and where's Monastery? Don't tell me the Monastery is up front. Sure, there's a short key to go to Monastery. No, the Monastery's in the back. Okay. Getting the relic control, which is going to be nice. That's... Oh, and now Pl0tter has a massive cav ball again. He's going to be able to micro and take out these halbs. I mean, there's only 25 halbs in the queue. Like, you need more of this. Defensive castle needed to be up a while back. Like, MT had a great position, and now he's falling apart. Lost all those halberdiers in one go, and his death ball just goes away. Yeah, and lucky, yeah, Ethiopians, yeah, Torsions. Sijanjas giveth and Sijanjas taketh away. Gonna lose some cav archers to this castle if he's not careful. Is getting a lot of damage out of it, though. Now pulls it back. Now the push in the middle and adding a few trebs. Some scorpions to protect the trebs, and like the Hussar spam is gonna be constant. A lot of bombard cannons coming through here. That castle could go down, so this forward position of MTs is going to probably get taken over. That's a lot of bombard cannons if they land. These cav archers are just going to chew through these halberdiers, though. Can't lose too many of them. The bombard... Alright, here's the micro. Here's kind of a very important fight. Like, I mean, honestly, a lot of fights are, but... The Hussars, halberdiers need to protect. You get a nice attack round right as the Hussars kind of double back on themselves and takes out half the Hussars. Hussars are going to try to push in and take out maybe a couple bombard cannons, but those halberdiers are there to clean it up. And Trebs continue to take out the buildings, but that was very good defense from MT. The attack round, incredibly important. Without the attack round, a lot more bombard cannons would have gone down there. Good outpost spam on the side. We'll wait to see if there's any raids from that side or anything like that. But the fighting in the middle is continuously there. MT's still trying to hold on. And, I mean, they're both maxing out on pop, so that's pretty good. Still trying to snipe. Got to make sure the SO doesn't take out anything too important. Is going to lose the SO, so honestly might be doing MT a favor there. The SO kind of backfired, but down to... only 4 bombard cannons, or 8 bombard cannons, right. It's bottom side is how many they have. Top is in the queue. So not a lot of damage to these bombard cannons. And they're going to continue to push forward and counter some of the trebs. But they're unexposed. They're exposed. Oh no, these cav archers are going to snipe these bombard cannons. That's one down. They're going to lose a lot of cav archers though. It's going to be a very expensive trade. I don't think it was worth it. Lost 4 of the cannons for a lot of the cav archers. Down to 9 cav archers. I do not think that trade was worth it. I understand wanting to snipe the siege, but oof, that is really bad. That's what you have Hussars for. And now Pl0tter is kind of balanced out and is on the back foot, I think. Like, this forward production from MT is really nice, and we actually see him repositioning to go over these castles where there's an overabundance of just villagers overpopulating gold and just going to be devastated if those get wiped out. Cav archers trying to come over here, and oh, those bomber cannons are exposed. They're going to be losing a few expensive units. Tough matchup if Pl0tter doesn't feel confident going SO. Yeah, I mean, he's finding some good picks here and there. He's losing some, and a good raid in the middle with the Hussars. The cav archers distracting. I mean, those bomber cannons. Oh, takes out a bunch of those. That is the micro he needed. That is a much more efficient. And here comes the Hussars to come in and try to snipe, but the halberdiers continue to protect it. But these Hussars just running rampant in the economy of MT, trying to take out this castle, these bombard cannons. Like, this is going to be a lot of units lost. You can even see just the eco KD for Pl0tter going really high up. Fight in the middle. Going Pl0tter's way, and bombard cannons not really... That castle stays up. not a lot of pressure being put onto Pl0tter as all the forces kind of start coming in and taking down Pl0tter's economy, taking out his buildings, taking out his outposts. Love to see a castle on this hill kind of secure the sides for Pl0tter, kind of make a good launching point. But Pl0tter's more concerned with taking care of the middle right now. It's a Hussar, Cav Archer Civ if you want it to be. Yeah. That's fair. And I mean, he's making it work. He has pushed us back. Needs a few more Trebs and some skirms coming in. Just as some cheap units, I guess. Economy really going to be important here. Making sure the economy spread is the proper distribution. Gotta make sure not to lose too many Cav Archers. Those are hard to replace right now. I mean, it has plenty in the bank. But gonna snipe these Bombard Cannons. That is a very expensive loss as well. MT not very well balanced. Only 20 on food. 10k gold in the bank, but nothing to spend it with. So MT mismanaging his economy a little bit. And that's going to mean that he can't spam Halberdiers. He's down to 31 and only 7 in the queue. Probably needs to mark it up and like use some of that gold because, and that's what looks like he's doing. A market somewhere because he is just struggling for food and wood. And yeah, the Cav Archers starting to really show their worth once they're in a large ball. The Hussar is just being fed to the Halberdiers, but that's going to cost a lot of Halberdiers and some Scorpions coming in, and the Trebs starting to take out the castles. Oh, that one nuke. I would love to be able to replay it. That one nuke of his own Halberdiers ruined that middle position, and the Hussars able to push forward and clean out that middle push. Just allowed allowed Pl0tter to come back into this. 9k banked. Yeah, it's wild. That is, you gotta spend your resources, and that's just a misbalanced economy. You gotta feel for MT. It looked like he was in a winning position and just self-sabotage with the SOs, as Lucky loves to call out. And now, yeah, just like not really any military. 12 Halberdiers, 7 Bomber Cannons. Not really something you can do against a maxed out Georgian's army with 50 Cav Archers. Refuse to field for MT. I mean, the Bombard Cannon micro can make things happen. It's just going to be so hard when the Cav Archers keep pushing forward, taking out these Spearmen. Bombard's getting some good shots here, but there's no defense for these Bombard Cannons now. And good split micro. Going to snipe one Bombard Cannon. Mass ups 70 on farms. Pl0tter can just spam a bunch of Hussar once the units start dying. Yeah, we see the Hussar spam over here. Good castles protection over there, but yeah, this Cav Archer Death Ball is just so hard to push into. Healing for Dutch DMers are used for today. That's fair. Some SOs are out, so you know, we did see what SOs can do to yourself, and they can make some really good attacks. We saw the 80 Cav Archers die in a blink of an eye at the earlier in the game. So Pl0tter needs to be aware and keep spamming those Hussars forward to take out those Siege Launchers, but we can see a big... It is all about that Cav Archer micro right now. Oh, kill some villagers, kill some army. Does get a nice shot. That does take out a lot of those Cav Archers. That was a good 15 Cav Archers, but I don't think it's enough. And I mean, it's going to chase Pl0tter away from the center, but those Cav Archers are just going to go and destroy... Oh, there's just villagers that's sitting here. And it's not like Pl0tter is maxed out. He can afford to lose villagers and queue some up. MT needs those villagers. Needs them on food, needs them on other resources, and the Hussars are starting to try to find some. There's only a handful of Halberdiers, and they're a little bit out of position. You're going to snipe a few, but losing more and more Cav Archers. That's down to 29 Cav Archers. Go Ethiopians so much more often. It makes for a good time. It is fun, for sure. I mean, these Siege Launchers are starting to make something happen. Now he's spending these resources. Oh, what a big shot. That's back down to 28 Cav Archers. No more in the queue. Cleaning up these buildings on the top. So, I mean, Pl0tter is getting the map control. Oh, my gosh. That was another 10 Cav Archers taken down. But now the Hussars are finding the Siege Launchers unprotected. And I don't know if MT has... I mean, he has some resources, but it's going to be hard to replace those if the Hussar really start flooding and there's not enough Halberdiers to deal with this. So some very good shots from MT. But, oh, it is not looking good. With the Hussar spam, Trev starting to come in on the top side. Map control firmly in Pl0tter's space. SO broken by Cav Archer play. Yeah. I mean, in this case, it was just like Hussars and running out of Cat and Halberdiers. The Cav Archers definitely played their part, but it's just the hard part is protecting the Siege Onagers with the Halberdiers. And the moment you're a little bit out of position, Hussars can just wipe out those Siege Onagers in the blink of an eye. Oh, big shot. Big shot. Only one. Okay, this is the second one. Doesn't kill too much, but they're very low health. This is when a monk or two would be very helpful. The Cav Archers didn't do much against SOs. They forced the SOs. They killed the Halberdiers, which allowed the Hussars there. And just, I mean, gonna devote everything to try and take down this castle, and it's not gonna go down. I mean, it actually might. These 3 bombard cannons gonna do some good damage. The Hussars cleaned up by those small squad of Halberdiers, but I mean, it's just Pl0tter's pushing into the economy, taking out buildings and productions and everything. And Pl0tter, I mean, does need a remax. Doesn't have a lot of, has too much wood, needs to balance the economy, and MT does have some good resources banked up. So we'll see if, I mean, again, it's can the Halberdier production continue, and can it protect the valuable gold units? There's going to be mostly Hussars going forward from Pl0tter. The Treb's getting a lot of work done, but these bombard cannons taking out the castle in the middle. And now those Trebs are going to fall, even though they did a lot of good eco damage here. Taking out the relics. There's 3 of them there. I assume... Do we have any monastery anywhere? There we are. Okay, so 1 church with a relic there. Where's the last relic? Relic is... somewhere. Who knows? Anyways, yeah. Hussars continue to spam. 75 on farms. That's going to be able to keep producing the Hussars that he needs. Not enough on food for the Halberdiers for MT, though. This is going to go into a later game. Targeting the market before the monastery is 5 head. Yeah. That's wild. Yeah, the monastery stays up. That could have been a nice little snipe. But Cav Archers need to run away. And, I mean, these outposts doing a lot of work, knowing that there's nothing over there. The Cav Archers are going to get some good micro, kill the Halberdiers, and got to make sure not to throw too many Halberdiers away. Part of the economy. Maybe. These are just not good fights. Like, you're throwing away Halberdiers. You kind of need to master Halberdiers up again. I mean, I suppose he's close to maxing out again. But you don't want to just be throwing units away like that. Adding some Cavalier. Wonder what the Cavalier are going to be for. Maybe try to do some raids, since you have the outpost visions. Oh, yeah. They're all on this side. So it's going to be Cavalier spam into the shared woodlines, into this economy. There are some castles back here to protect it. This is going to leave, I mean, 4 bombard cannons, and that's a lot of Hussars. I mean, the Hussars are going to get chewed up, and that is perfect Halberdier micro. The Cav Archers were not in a position to help support that, and that is a lot of Hussar loss, and very well done by MT. Protecting the 4 bombard cannons. Continue to rain down fire. Very well done. So MT might be able to make some stuff happen. And we see the Hussar raids going through, which is very nice. So spread some economy out, but I mean, some spears still there, and the castles not really accomplishing much. And really the numbers just watch is the bombard cannons. Those are needed to keep pushing forward. And those, they're exposed. Okay, not good. Hussars going for it. They get 1. Did they get the second? They get both bomber cannons. That's huge. In the meantime, Cavalier and Hussar trading some raids over here. Yeah, it looks like this is going to end up being a wood game. Wood game and a relic game. We've had quite a few long ones. I mean, there's still this massive Cav ball, right? Like, there's still 30 Cav Archers. That's going to be very hard to deal with. Especially because, like, gold is kind of running low, and there's not a lot of gold units. There's no siege for MT. And he's going to lose these forward production buildings. Some Halberdier raids, very nice over here. And some raids in the middle. But, I mean, it's kind of these Cav Archers are just kind of going to be big determining factor. You can see MT even has very low military right now. It doesn't have the resource. It has a lot of wood banked up, which is very helpful for both of them. Just does not have the production or the units to make. You even see a switch to Hussar for MT. And Ethiopians, I think, have decent Hussar. Oh, these villagers are going to get massacred. Oh, this is going to be bad. This is going to be bad. Yeah, just take out those 2 spears and then just let them rain hell. Oh, that's a lot of dead villagers. Oh, and the halbs aren't doing anything. They need to mass up before they can go in. That's so many dead villagers. Oh, that's so many dead villagers. They don't have a decent Hussar. Yeah. And yeah, the Georgians just kind of out producing here. They have, again, it's 30 gold units versus no gold units. Adding a few heavy camel riders, you can't get the numbers needed to be able to deal with it. Especially, camels aren't going to be able to beat the heavy cavalry archers. MT had a chance to make a comeback there. Just ran out of resources and gold units. Couldn't protect the gold units. Couldn't protect with the spears. And yeah, now the Hussar full flood going forward. It is a wood game, though. That's true. Definitely need to see a few siege units maybe being added by Pl0tterGh0st, though. That is expensive. Yeah, how much wood is left on the map? Not much. We're running low in the back. It's going to be a fight over the wood on the side. Nothing in the back. This big wall over here. Pl0tterGh0st knew from win at 3. Cav Archers win the wood game? Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Cav Archers are winning this. And Pl0tterGh0st maxed out, has 30 more Hussars in the queue. MT's struggling to get a military force. Trying to mass up the halbs under the castles. But this is just... I mean, really... Okay, the Treb's coming over here. Really, the biggest mistake Pl0tterGh0st making is not taking over this wood line. Oh, there. Here they come. He's solving that problem. And yeah, I think this is... It's a wood game now. There's really not much that MT can do. No crop rotation for Ethiopians. Yeah, that would help too. 480 farm versus 480 farm. No, that's health. 430 versus 107. Right? Like, maybe those aren't full, but yeah, late game. Definitely going in favor of the Georgians. Good halberdier pushback over here. So that's going to clean this up and get a lot of Hussar kills, with so many Hussars still in the bank. And this wood line's still up for the taking. 317 wood. And then some. For the taking. Villagers going to try to take out these Trebs. Going to succeed in taking out at least one. Maybe a second one. Hussars are trying to stop that from happening. 2 Trebs down. Could even be a third. Surely not the third. They tried. Those villagers are value for sure. We salute them. Halberdier's doing some good work protecting this wood line. The Cav Archers are over here, and they're going to snipe some of these Halberdiers and clean them up. And now we get the raids in the back. It's tough for MT. He still has a bunch of Halberdiers coming out. And we still only have 27 Cav Archers, so we've lost a few Cav Archers, understandably. And yeah, now the Treb on the side, pushing forward. Have we claimed that second relic? No, there's still only 1 relic. I don't know where the other one is. I think someone said something about Heart of Economy. I'm not very skilled at remembering how to see things, but... Still hasn't been able to hit that monastery. So the 3 relics definitely giving MT a chance back in this game. But I don't know if it's going to be able to do much against the non-stop spam of Cav Archers. You need to get us a couple... I mean, I think at this point, going forward is a mistake. I think this is going to lose in the game. I think the only chance MT had here was to keep the Halbs back, get that death ball going, and then get 1 or 2 SOs, and try to get some very, very lucky shots and take out those Cav Archers. Because at least MT knows that he is winning the gold game. Maybe not the wood game, but he has the gold advantage with at least 3 relics. Doesn't know about the 4th or the 5th, but can assume that his opponent has those. Has to be a relic somewhere. I'm trying to find it, but... Big fight in the middle. Yeah, Cav Archers trying not to die. Lost a couple. Good micro. In the side, yeah. Even against Halberdiers, just non-stop Hussar spam is going to be a problem. And MT finally calls it. Well done by both of them. MT looking like he was going to win it until the SO shot. Relic seems to hide the yellow color. That's not a bad idea. Div 9 would be a quick set? Nah, these are great sets. Yeah, I mean, Pl0tterGh0st really making those Cav Archers count after losing that early kills, yeah. Military. Oof. Yeah, look at all those kills versus losses. And just, yeah, non-stop Hussar spam. You can see the military difference. Economy. Yeah, Pl0tterGh0st just always had a better economy. And that kind of is what mattered. The relics definitely helped a lot. 2k free gold. Cool. All right, so that's game 4. And I am just going to jump into the next one because I started to get hungry and that was a longer game. So I'm just going to watch more so we can go and we can look at game 4. Okay, I was going to try to go past it and try to take a quick guess, but we got Shoals with Japanese and Chinese. Which makes sense, I guess. Like, those sound like two pretty solid water maps. All right. Game 4. Pl0tterGh0st up 2-1. Pl0tterGh0st playing the Japanese on Shoals with MT playing the Chinese on the pink. So early castle, early docks. Both players going for an early dock. Gets the early attack on the light cav, so but is gonna maybe snipe that villager. Takes out the villager. That is a huge loss. That is a dock loss. Don't want to lose that villager. Gonna maybe even get a second one. Gets 2 kills. That's huge. MT with a massive, massive lead. Already has dock up. Already has demos spamming. That is a very, very good start from MT. Definitely needs that after the last game. And now we see the Halberdiers come out. But, I mean, with the early dock advantage, already 2 docks and 0 for Pl0tterGh0st. I mean, MT's going to send oh, okay, 1 dock does go up. But these demos are going to start causing some pretty bad problems. Forces the villager away. Just takes out the foundations. That's some wood and some time that he's going to lose. And now a Halberdier's here to harass. This is looking bad. And we already even see a TC in the gold early expansion. Yeah, the early exit vills is huge. That's why Chinese have just... There's never going to be a time when Chinese are bad. Don't use the demos against the docks. I would love to see maybe like a fire ship or 2 just to start pressuring the docks since you have such an early advantage. But... no, looks like it's just going to be demo trades. We have... okay, so what do fire spears do? What do the fire lancers do? Are they just ranged spears? How do they work? That's something that's new to the game for me. In the meantime, the villagers starting to go and expand up there. We got the Spear Wars. And no castle yet up for Pl0tterGh0st. So it's going to be a little bit tough to defend against this. Castle should go up, but those fire spears are going to be a little bit annoying. And now we see some fire ships. The demo's going to land and clean a lot of this up. It's 4 docks versus 4 docks, so nothing too much there. But I mean, it's allowing MT to really get an eco lead. Have 1 gunpowder shot, and then they're kind of like champions with a little cav bonus damage. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, a lot of demo 1-for-1 trading. Not the most efficient way of doing things. And we even see... okay, so this TC took a little bit longer to get going. It would have been nice if MT had gotten that going even earlier, but this castle and TC is going to challenge it. Only 2 villagers going forward to deal with it. Is there any military that can be sent up there? Dragon ships? Where are the dragon ships? Oh, man, those dragon ships. All right, those must be the unique unit. They look like fire ships. And they're melting some stuff. Some demos coming out. They're going to be counter-demoed. Oh, they missed their chance. That would have been a juicy demo. Gotta really be careful with these dragon ships, because they will get melted by the demos. Especially because they're right up against docks. And... that's a lot of weak dragons. But yeah, dragon spam is going to win this water. 1 dock goes down. Holding on with some demo spam. But now we get a castle down here. Spears are here to prevent this castle from going up. So good little protection here. And we do have the castle going up here. Defensive castle from MT. Not on the gold, but starting there to be able to launch Treb into that castle. And we have a big push in the middle with the Halberdiers coming through and just trying to harass the economy of MT. So yeah, losing water pretty handedly here from Pl0tterGh0st. Oh, big demo. And the spear is going to do pretty good damage against the dragon ships. So it's going to be up to... Just going to nuke that dock. Just MT really trying to prevent... Oh, there's a lot of docks up north. All those fire ships by mistake. Gotcha. Yeah, they don't look like they're going to be accomplishing too much. Good demo there. Do have some good ranges there. Or good raids here. So I thought they were Luchans. Oh, that's a Luchan. Okay. I don't know what... That's just like a longboat, kind of? Or a longship? Those look so deadly. Holy crap. They look so good. Is a good unit versus non-heavy demo civ. Gotcha. Yeah, and those demos are going to come and just nuke all those Luchans. Oh, that's expensive, I assume. No Trebs out. Okay, there's a Treb from Pl0tterGh0st. I don't know if MT will notice this. But this could be... You do not want to lose that gold position, especially because Pl0tterGh0st has secured the gold position on the south side. You weren't queuing from 2 docks. Alright, Luchan's getting some good range. Demos massing up, and the Halberdier is going to come forward. There's needs maybe some demos to help protect against the other demos and Halberdiers. But I'm guessing once you get a massive death ball of Luchans, you are pretty set against the demos. The demos going to come in and try to land against these Luchans. All of them get stopped. Does take some damage, but I think those Luchans kind of survive, and those arrows just raining down. It is beautiful to watch. It reminds me of massed up longships. So yeah, losing water pretty handily as these Luchans kind of mass up. And these elite samurai just walking to their doom. And MT did notice and won the Treb war. So now he's going to be able to Treb unabated. If this Treb is out of range, though, can't range that castle. Oh no, MT, please. Get the castle advantage. Castle advantage is going to go to Pl0tterGh0st, and he's going to start being able to pressure this with multiple Trebs. Okay, getting a second Treb. Maybe he'll notice now. But a lot of focus in the middle. Got to avoid those demos. And, I mean, doing well. And now I think MT's realizing how many docks Pl0tterGh0st actually has. Still maintaining a good control here. And now the Trebs are firing. With the Chukonus, right? That's what those guys are? Yeah, Chukonus. Taking out the Trebs. Chukonus firing a lot of arrows. Going to be able to take these guys out. Does cost him quite a bit. But as long as he takes out the Trebs, it is kind of worth it. In the second round, not so much. But water fight continues to happen, and this left side is very well secured by Pl0tterGh0st. Going to afford him a lot of gold access, but the middle is definitely being won. But a lot of demos coming through. Those Luchans need to back up. There's no, like, I don't know what the Chinese are supposed to do against demos. If they're supposed to, like, maintain their demo control as well. It's like, those are fires. I feel like mixing in some demos. There's the demos, yeah. Mixing in a few demos just to help defend against this would be nice. Those are more fire ships, so just a bunch of fire ships. Dragon ships are needed now? Yeah. And those fire ships really cleaning up this water, and MT having gone from a dominating position on the water to just losing it almost entirely. Losing this castle as well, the double castle really benefiting here. And it is looking bad for Pl0tterGh0st. That second gold expansion really benefiting Pl0tterGh0st. No gold for MT. That's going to be the big problem. You have 40 on gold from Pl0tterGh0st. Almost entirely from down here. And due to the fight up top, just wasn't able to really take as much gold as he needed up top. And some demos are coming out, but I think it's a little bit too little too late. I mean, there's a lot of fires. So you could clean that up, but I think they're all rally pointed forward too. So you're going to do a lot of damage here, but if you're making demos to try to reclaim water, you're gonna... Not the best time. And with double gold taken over by Pl0tterGh0st, it's not looking great for MT. 14 military. Pl0tterGh0st maxed out. Economy's kind of in shambles, trying to get some farms up, but only 20 wood choppers. Nothing really on gold. This is not looking good. It's not looking good for MT for sure. Spamming docks, but really the problem is going to be the economy. 53 wood, 6 gold, and still 4k food in the bank. You can just afford to spam non-stop gold and wood units. And MT is going to call it there. Yeah, losing both gold sides and losing the water. If he had added some, like, the dragon ships or the demos to try to deal with the fast fighters or just all the demo spam, I think MT would have had a better chance. But Pl0tter managed to hold on from losing water early on, and with the assisted gold on both sides, takes his third game, takes a set. We got one more game to play, though. Yeah, that was very well played by Pl0tter. Yeah, it is again one of those situations where it's very easy to let the snowball, especially with how many Luchowns there were. It is very understandable that was tough to hold. Yeah, redocking was smart. Yeah, up top. That was those docks really. I don't know if MT really knew about those up until a little bit later, because those guys just really saved the day. And yeah, and then just gold. Like, we're gonna check out the statistics. Double the gold. I mean, I suppose it's not as big of a difference as I thought, but for how short of a game that was, doubling that much gold, pretty insane. And then just economy as a whole. Because yeah, MT started out pretty strong with economy. Military definitely had a moment where he could have pushed more when Pl0tter really lost that big fight, but just wasn't able to capitalize. Okay, so give me 2 minutes. I will be right back. I need to run to the restroom and order some food. And then we'll finish it off with the 5th game. So I will be right back. Thank you for the follow, MD. I'll be right back. And get some more water, because I forgot how dry my throat is. Ace, dude, you're on my chair. Need to sit down, my friend. Excuse me. Ugh, Mr. Kitty. Thank you. All right. We got one more match. Pl0tter may have won the match, but will it be a 4-1 or a 3-2? We got one more game. A few more civs. I got food. I got some enchiladas on the way. Definitely am going to need to use a bigger cup next time I cast, because holy crap, I forget how much water I actually need to chug for casting. Okay, so last game. Let's do this last one. There's timing out. I forget what commands I have. I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember pretty much anything I have regards to streaming. Like, the only time I've streamed in the past 3 years was for Destiny Day 1s, which, funny enough, is what got me back here, because I got raided, and it was good to see everybody. Alright, we got... No, that's Yomi and Admiral. We already did that one. Outcrop, we got Magyars versus Tatars for the final game. Alright, time to finish this cast up. Magyars versus Tatars. MT on the left with the pink sieve playing the Tatars. On the right, we have Pl0tterGh0st, currently up 3-1, playing the Magyars. Gonna be some Cav from the Magyars, obviously. I mean, probably Cav from both of them. Well, Cav archers. So, outposts min 4. Maybe. Villager is idle. The scout's gonna come in and probably find a kill here. That villager is out of position. Does get a nice early kill, so Pl0tterGh0st getting some really good advantages in the early game. Can that villager run away? And does. This happened in the previous game too, is MT doesn't have the best early rush. And tends to lose a villager or two, which really adds up. So, and doesn't get one of his own. So, we'll see how this goes. But now we see the Magyar Paladins, who have quite a good number of bonuses. We'll see if a Monastery comes up early to try to get that extra Cav damage. Well, that's, he's busy analyzing the map for outpost position. I mean, that's true. That's a lot of Cav archers. Magyars have good Cav archers too, right? I believe they do. So Cav archer gonna mass up. Paladin's gonna probably be pretty strong here. Castle needs to be finished. Once the castle does get finished, these Paladins are gonna get pushed back. But it is a non-stop Paladin spam fest for Pl0tterGh0st. Those Paladins gonna get cleaned up. Does find another kill, which is gonna be very helpful. So those Paladins definitely finding some benefit there. Trading decently, but that is a big Cav archer ball, and we saw this in the first game where Cav archers won Pl0tterGh0st, or was it the first one of the games where Pl0tterGh0st won off the ball of Cav archers. Not many Paladin versus Camel Civ, Skirm Civs, yeah, and they're just passing. Don't mind me. Okay, now he's following back, and oh no, they're gonna get trapped. You got some Step Lancers coming in. Or no, those are not their Hussar, Magyar Hussar. The Cav Archer is going to be able to run through and try to find some villager kills, which they're going to find at least one. But that's going to allow the base to be undefended. You couldn't ping anyone else. I just chose... No, this was requested by Otter. Yeah, these Paladins can come in and might be able to find some good village kills here. Those Cav Archers going to fight down the hill. Not the best place to fight for MT. Going to take out a few, but need to retreat, and they're going to get harassed as they go. And a lot of outposts on the bottom, which will give plenty of vision as those Cav Archers tuck tail and run. And yeah, the Paladin is getting some good damage in the middle. Has found a couple kills. Though, I mean, MT has definitely gotten a few more kills with these Cav Archers. Where did those Cav Archers... Did we lose all those Cav Archers? No. Surely not. No, they all came back home. Sir, I can't see the screen. Okay. And yeah, now we see the kind of eco-expansion middle game. That is a lot of Scorpions coming in. And, Magyars with heavy Scorpions, backed by the Paladins, going to be pretty dicey. I assume that's Pl0tterGh0st expecting a Halberdier switch, which, spoiler, plenty of Halberdiers. May have seen some. But yeah, these Paladins and Hussars really finding a few random pickoffs, which is huge. Really slows down the development of this kind of like area. Doesn't find this expansion, which is very beneficial for MT if he can get that castle up. He's going to find this TC, and that's going to slow down the economy expansion. Scorpion's going to get out of position. I mean, they're going to do fine here, but taking a bit more damage than they needed to as the Paladins try to deal with those Cav Archers. A lot of good shots from those Scorpions, and now a little bit of Onager mixed in, and that's going to be very tough to keep that Cav Archer ball alive. They're down to 14. MT not looking great here. Paladin's continuing to run around and harass the hell out of MT. Gets another bunch of kills. Doubts a castle. And manages to outpost scout the fact that Pl0tterGh0st has a pretty solid economy already going up over here. Castle goes up too, is going to kill that villager before... Nope, the villager does get to the outpost. The BM outpost. That's a lot of paladins and not a lot of military from MT. Pl0tterGh0st doubling up the military with a lot of very expensive units. And still stopping the expansion on the south side. This little base is there, but it is noticed by Pl0tterGh0st. Pl0tterGh0st is going to be able to build a Treb or two and probably take this down, and there's not a lot of military there to help back it up. The center is being established by Pl0tterGh0st. And yeah, I mean, trying to mass up that Cav Archer ball, you know, with Scorpions and Onagers, they're going to just get melted. Plenty of Paladins for Pl0tterGh0st to send them forward. Later transition into Magyar Hussars. Halberdiers need to do something, but I mean, against so many siege, it's looking pretty tough. Ally Scorp, definitely a very good composition. Very expensive, but working pretty well. And yeah, it looks like there's no real expansion. Like, this is nice, but I mean, again, okay, so MT does knows that if he loses expansion, he's going to for sure lose the game. So at least this is a good way of starting to pressure this area and send villagers to their death as a distraction. But he's losing that fight in the middle, losing a lot of production buildings, and it's going to be hard to really come back when it's so dire in the middle. Eco's still pretty balanced right now, though. It is probably a bit more. I mean, look at the gold counts. So, Pl0tterGh0st is currently out of gold. Doesn't have any banked up, so like he's gonna have to wait for it to come in, and so there's a slight chance there. And we see more outpost spam. I would have loved to see just with this villager, make a stable or something here. Send something just to easy harass. Base, dude. If you want to be on my lap, you can be on my lap, but you can't be halfway on, halfway off. Now the Magyar Hussars, or no, just regular Hussars, coming in to try to clean some of these Cav Archers up, and really just starting to keep MT's army low. So MT's stuck at a third of the army count, and Pl0tterGh0st continuing to just go forward with some siege. Needs to mix in some, or what am I looking for? Trebs, maybe some BB. I don't think Magyars get gunpowder. Ace, dude, you can't be there. My cat is sabotaging me. And yeah, I mean, now he's kind of into the eco, into the production. Does have this nice little base down here, but losing a Treb war, and the Magyar Hussars kind of coming in here and getting some snipes. There's no defensive military besides the castle. So, needed some production over here to maybe help deal with that. Maybe just one barracks to get some spearmen out, but this is... Castle's going to stay up, and this little base is going to go down, and that's going to be pretty much the rest of the economy for MT, and I think down to 5 military, losing economy, losing production buildings. Pl0tterGh0st just kind of running forward with it, and I think this is kind of spelling the end for MT. Does have some eco over here, has some Keshiks coming through, sniping a Treb. You know, every little bit counts, but it's you can only, the flanks can only do so much when the middle is being lost. So unfortunately, it looks like this is going to be very. I mean, it'd be very impressive if MT comes back for this, but it does not look like that's the case. And MT does tap out, giving Pl0tterGh0st the 4-1 victory. Good games from both of them. MT making a few mistakes here and there and losing a few important fights, having some very good games, but Pl0tterGh0st coming out on top. Imagine being a big nerd that knows all the matchups. Flaming camels counter everything. True. Oh, Tatars do make flaming camels. I always forget that. I always forget about flaming camels, and like they're actually not a meme. They were a meme for a while, right? So, well played by Pl0tterGh0st. Winning the division, or winning the match. I'm not sure what that means with standings and stuff, because this is my first day showing up and casting and trying my best, so yeah, I mean, I suppose flaming camels aren't very good outside of DM. It seems like a very niche scenario where you're already full on resources, but yeah, this has been very fun.